Howdy, hi. It is Dear Job Sports WNBA picks and predictions for Wednesday, May 28th, 2025. We're looking at the best bets of the day. Glad to get into the video. All right, so majority of this video is going to be recapping a kind of crazy day in the WNBA. There is only one game tomorrow. It is the Fever and the Mystics. Interesting game because Caitlin Clark is injured, but we will get to that in a few moments. We now have to discuss how we went 6-6, bringing our season record to 31-36. We'll go over the winners first. First winner, Liberty, minus 16.5. They won by a bajillion. They could have won by even more if they wanted to. Final score of this game, Golden State 67, New York Liberty 95. They couldn't hit the over for us, but the Liberty did score almost 100 points. The Valkyries are very bad. They shot 34% from the field, 36% from deep. I don't know how you shoot higher from three-point land than you do two-point land, but they figured out a way. The Liberty, 50% from the field, 40% from deep, only 54% from the free throw line, so that might be one of the reasons why the over didn't hit. The other reason is probably because the Valkyries had 20 turnovers. This team just turns the ball over way too much, and it's everyone on the court. You had Talbot with 4, Thornton with 2, Fock-Benley with 2, Burton with 3, Saloom with 4. Their bench had 6 combined. Like, good God. Too many TOs. We then had probably the game of the night. It was the Storm and the Lynx. We had the over, 157.5, and we had the Storm plus 7.5. Final score of this game, 77-82. They made us work for it, but we got there in the end. Massive last quarter. There was 54 points scored in the final quarter, 26 of those coming from the Storm. It was real ugly early. The Lynx took a 26-11 lead in the first quarter. Then the Storm remembered how to play basketball. Shout out to Gabby Williams, dropped 20 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists. The Storm probably could have won this game if they could have shot the ball from deep. 6 of 24 from range. They won the offensive rebound battle. They lost the turnover battle by 3, but for a first road game against a real solid team, I thought this was a nice performance by the Storm. The Lynx, they get the job done, they win, but they don't cover, and we hit the over by 1.5. So shout out to the Storm, and shout out to the Lynx for getting us over. We then had the Chicago Sky, who lose, but they do cover. I don't know the percentage of this game that the Chicago Sky were winning, but I would argue it was damn near 70% of this game, the Sky were up. Chicago Sky, largest lead, 16 points. Phoenix Mercury, largest lead, 8. That should tell you about everything you need to know. We also hit Angel Reese, 24.5 points plus rebounds. She had 28. Still didn't shoot 50% from the field. She had 13 points on 3 of 9 from the field, 7 of 9 from the free throw line with 15 rebounds. How many of those were offensive? 5 of those were offensive. Shout out to Angel. You had Nurse with 14, Cardoso with 16, Vandersloot with a double-double, 15, 4, and 11. Ariel Atkins, 21, 6, and 2. This team isn't going to win many games, but I think they're going to be competitive in a decent amount. I've also learned never ever bet an under in a Sky game. That was stupid. I don't know why I did that. Okay, then we had the over 162.5 in the Dream and the Sparks game. This was another one that looked absolutely dead. 31 points in the first quarter, but they bring it all the way back. 48 points in the third quarter, 51 points in the fourth quarter. The Dream win the game, 88-82. It is time to have a semi-serious discussion. This has been brought up a few times in the Discord by Rattler. Are the Dream better without Brittany Griner? And the answer is probably yes. You just slide Brianna Jones down to the 5. You put Coffey in the starting lineup. You have Caldwell at the small forward. Ryan Howard still doing her thing at point guard. And then you have Alicia Gray, who dropped 25 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 7 of 8 from the field, 9 of 9 from the free throw line. This chick is a walking bucket. Unbelievable how good she is recently. Her recent game log, 25, 18, 27, 16, and 11 in the points department. 6'3", 6'2", 6 in the assist department. 5'7", 5'5", 2 in the rebounds. She is on fire. A slight concern for the Sparks. This team might be dog shit. Odyssey Sims, 27 minutes played, 3 points. Why are you even on this team? Kelsey Plum, 10 of 20 from the field, 27 points. De'Erica Hamby was moderately close to a triple-double, 28 points, 6 rebounds, and 8 assists. You had Sarah Ashley Barker didn't do shit, 20 minutes, 2 points, 1 rebound, 0 assists. Azrae Stevens, double-double, 10 points, 11 rebounds. Only 4 of 14 from the field, though. Really didn't have the best day. And then their bench didn't do anything. They had a combined 49 minutes of bench play. They combined for 12 points. That is not ideal. Our losers, we kind of already talked about them, but we had the over in the Valkyries and the Liberty game. You can't have 20 turnovers for the Valkyries and then think you're going to hit the over. We did not talk about this next game at all. Again, please tell me y'all had zero money on this game, because this was atrocious. Sun, I had them plus 4.5. Did I really have them plus 4.5? No, because there's no way you should be betting a Wings in a Sun basketball game. The Wings scored 109 points. 109 in a 40-minute game of basketball. They shoot 56% from the field, 50% from deep, 86% from the free throw line. That is something I wanted to mention. There were 65 free throws shot in this game. 65. That is absurd. The Connecticut Sun, they moved to 0-5. They lose by 22. I don't know how they're this bad of a basketball team. They don't play defense. They can't score. Tina Charles scored 27 points today, and you still lost by 20 plus. How do you do that? Shout out to Paige Beckers, 21 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. Shout out to Paige. There you go. We then have the Sparks plus 2.5. I've already discussed the Sparks are pretty dog shit. Then you had Marina Mabry. This one I did have money on. At her points, rebounds, and assists over 24.5. What did she get? 24. She would have hit this if the Sun weren't getting blown out and the starters didn't play the last 6 minutes of the game, but she didn't touch the court. Therefore, we miss by half as she goes 19, 4, and 1 for 24 PRA. Then, you may be wondering, the Dallas Wings played and they scored 109. Surely that means Arike Gumbawale shot 50% from the field, so we can remove one of her images from the ban list, right? Wrong. Dead wrong. 19 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. It sounds pretty good, but it's not. 5 of 14 from the field. That is not 50%. Therefore, she stays on the ban list all 4 times. You're not getting off. Okay, that is the recap. Let's get on to the one game for tomorrow. All right, so like I said, there is only one game today. It is the Indiana Fever traveling to DC to take on the Mystics. I'm going to take the Mystics as the home dog plus 3.5 and the over 159.5. The only real important thing to note here, Caitlin Clark, she is injured. She's not going to play for the next 2 to 3 weeks with a quad injury. I think that affects this Fever team massively. She is their entire offense. The high screen pick and roll with her in Boston, not going to work the same with Kelsey Mitchell. Mitchell's really good at shooting the ball, but in terms of her running an offense, I don't like it nearly as much as I do with Clark. So I'm going to fade them here. It's their first game without her playing. I like the Mystics. Fever, 2-2 on the year, coming off of a 2-point home loss to the Liberty. The only thing they have going for them, they've had 4 days of rest since that New York game at home. I know I just said I don't trust Mitchell running the offense, but I do trust her enough to hit her points, rebounds, and assists. Now, there are no lines out currently. I looked FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM. Nobody had lines for this game tomorrow, like in terms of player props. So if I find them, I'll post them in the Discord. If you're not already in the Discord, hop in. It's free. Link is in the description. We talk about every sport imaginable under the sun. Again, completely free. You will never have to pay. It's just a bunch of dudes betting stuff. Mystics, finally back home. I think they had a 3-game West Coast swing. They played the Valkyries and lost. They played the Mercury and lost. And they played the Aces and they lost. So pretty rough swing for them. They are now back home, though, facing an injured Fever team. They are healthy. Brittany Sykes back in the lineup. Aaliyah Edwards back in the lineup. Their 2 rookies looking really good with Sonia Citron and Kiki Irfan. I like this team. Back at home, I think they're 1-0 at home. I bet they really only played 1 home game. Wow. Yeah, only played 1 home game. They won it. I like them here, plus 3.5, being a home puppy against a team without Caitlin Clark. And then give me the over, 159.5. Maybe, if I had to say which one I liked more, probably be Mystics on the spread. Not sure if the Fever are going to be able to score, but the Mystics don't play defense, so that is why I'm taking the over 159.5 there. Okay, that is it, since that is the only game for today. I appreciate you guys watching and tuning in, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.